Hi everyone, it's very common with people when they start putting CBTi behavioural changes in place and start seeing their sleep improve, that they become very obsessive about sleep streaks. Well, what are sleep streaks? Oh, it's been 3 days. I really hope that I can keep my sleep going, because if I can keep my sleep going, then I've proven to myself that I've overcome insomnia. Okay, now it's been 4 days. Okay, please let me get another good night. 5 days on top of the world now. If I can get 6 days in a row, that means I have overcome this condition for good. And what happens? Because you put so much force, because you put so much effort, because the desire to sleep that 6th night in a row is so strong, it all comes crashing down. And people then often think, well, I've lost it. I was doing so well, but now I've had a bad night of sleep. That means I've lost all my progress and I'm going to have to start again. This black and white, this catastrophizing thinking, where a bad night means the entire world has imploded. And of course I get it. You know, I had the same thought when I was overcoming my own insomnia. Great nights, I just celebrated, but bad nights felt like the end of the world because I had something to lose now. That casino analogy where you put a pound on black, you really don't care if it wins or loses, you're just happy to be there. But when you put your entire house, your entire savings, everything you've got on red, the outcome is so important. And that's essentially what is happening when you're trying and you're desperate to keep sleep streaks moving in the right direction and keep them going. So I think what's really helpful to understand is that it's literally impossible to keep sleep streaks going. Every single person on the planet is going to get bad nights of sleep. Good sleepers, I've said this a lot, sleep well about 80% of the time. So that means about 1 night a week they're going to get a bad night of sleep. So it's not that you can avoid bad nights of sleep, it's your response to them which is so important. If your response to them is, I've had a bad night of sleep, now I've got insomnia again, now I'm back in the struggle, now I'm back in the storm, this response is what's going to cause you that bad night of sleep to possibly turn into 2 or 3 more, because you're so desperate to prevent it from happening. You get back on the Googling in the day, you start the rituals again, the warm baths, the kiwi fruits, all the stuff that you know deep down doesn't help you sleep, because good sleepers are not doing this stuff. Again, my favorite question, is this something I would have done when I were a good sleeper? Is this something a good sleeper would do? None of that stuff is, but very intuitive when you've got insomnia to try and latch on and grab on to these safety mechanisms, especially when you've been doing well and you've had a bad night. So what is a bad night? Well, a bad night is completely normal because good sleepers get them too. You don't have to be happy about them, but please, if you've ended your sleep streak, you've had a bad night, please just see it as normal. Normalize this. Carry on the next day and just say to yourself, you know what, this was going to happen, because it happens to good sleepers. Just because my sleep streak has ended, that doesn't mean that I've gone backwards or lost anything, because I really need to get that acceptance when it comes to my treatment. This measured kind of view when it comes to my sleep. Sleep doesn't need to be perfect all the time. And of course, when you're really in the pit of insomnia, it's really hard to get this acceptance. We're talking about the people who've already put the behavioural changes in place, which you find on my channel. I'm going to queue up a video on the end, and then it's more easy to get that acceptance, get that calm reaction to a poor night of sleep where it should be. Not have to be not bouncing off the walls that you've had it, but just, I've had a bad night of sleep. I'm going to have a cup of tea or cup of coffee and I'm going to carry on. Keep calm, carry on. Actually, I don't really like that because it's been a bit overused. But yeah, that's one thing that we often have printed on our tea mugs in the UK. And it is a good kind of response to a poor night rather than catastrophizing. 5 proven tips to overcome insomnia on this video here. And if you want to work with me one-to-one, please check out my website, sleepsy.com. Really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.